Welcome to Taste Reviews Drink Edition. I'm your host, Derek Silver, and we back for another tasting, another taste review. And today we have Brothers Bond Straight Bourbon Whiskey. Brothers Bond Straight Bourbon Whiskey. Now, let's get to the bottle. The bottle is pretty simple, nothing too intricate or elaborate about it. Nice, simple bottle. You've seen this bottle before on bourbons and whiskeys. The label has a nice label to it. Their logo is nice, has some details that you can feel on the label. It says distilled and crafted in the tradition of all great bourbon. Brothers Bond Straight Bourbon Whiskey, hand selected batch. It's 40% alcohol volume and 80 proof. Let's go to the back. On the back, it reads, "Our brotherhood has led us right here with all of you, honoring the distilling traditions of classic American bourbon. We carefully selected a full-grain mash bill of corn, rye, wheat, and barley. Our spirit is then skillfully cut into perfectly charred virgin white oak barrels, aged slowly and well, creating the flavors and aromas that make our bourbon a perfectly balanced expression. Life is about experiences. We crafted this hand-selected bourbon in hopes that you may strengthen bonds both new and old, reminisce, share, and enjoy all that it has to offer. Cheers, Ian and Paul." It has the website on here and your regular government warning as well. Now, this tag right here. This tag symbolizes or shows that this bourbon whiskey is award winning. You open it up on the inside, it shows that it has won 4 awards: Gold winner, American Spirits Council of Tasters, 96 rating, Cigar and Spirits Magazine, 93 rating, the Tasting Panel Magazine, Best Bourbon, Rolling Stone Magazine, Best Celebrity Spirits. So I guess this is a celebrity spirit. I didn't know that. I looked at the website. I didn't see that. But the website is long. It's a lot. This is one of the websites where you have to actually go through. There's like a lot of different tabs where they talk about their story, the method, cocktails, press, newsletter, merchandise, finder, shop name, all that stuff. I ain't going through all of that. The description and the website will be in the description box. brothersbondbourbon.com. Let's get to the website. The website gives you the standard information that was on the back of the bottle, as well as the awards. Actually, they have 2 more awards on here on the website for this particular whiskey that wasn't on the tag. Now it says the details. The details: strength, bottled at 40% alcohol volume, 80 proof. Color, sunset gold. Body, balanced, round, and velvety smooth. Length of finish, a minute and 30 seconds. Interesting. That's the first time I ever seen that, the length of finish. So that'll be interesting. It says empty glass, beeswax. I don't know what that means. So the tasting notes. I like how they did their tasting notes on their website. They actually put pictures to it. So the first tasting note that they have is baked banana bread. And I love banana bread. I love banana bread. I love banana nut muffins, all that. Like banana bread, that is good. So it better taste like banana bread. The comforting aroma of baked goodness. Jammy ripe fruit with walnuts and orange honey come in first. The second, dried fruit. And the pictures that they're displaying for their dried fruit is oranges, blood oranges, regular oranges, whatever other type of oranges. A rich honey sweetness emerges, accompanied by hints of black tea spice and dried fruits. Third one, warm rye spice, richness of toasted cereal grain rounded out by honeysuckle notes. Last, fresh cut oak, a energetic, lingering, smooth finish of perfectly balanced warm spice. So now to your favorite part of the show. Also on here, like I said, they have cocktails. So if you scroll down a little bit, they'll show you the different cocktails that you can make with this particular bourbon whiskey. They have two bourbon whiskeys on their website. This is the straight bourbon whiskey. So your favorite part of the show. Finally to that. Now let me make sure I got the tasting notes available for me, so when we it better taste like banana bread. that might mess up the rating if it don't taste like banana bread. So it smells like a typical bourbon whiskey. I smell that oak. I smell vanilla. I smell spice. I forgot to pour again. Lord have mercy. So we're gonna start with the nose and glass. Neat. Stir that around a little bit. Check out the oil content. It's not too oily. Thin, very thin, not too oily. So let's give it another smell in the glass. Smells real good. Smell the oak. Smell the spice. I smell vanilla. Let me see. I definitely smell honey. I smell orange. Now let's taste it. Off the first taste, I'm getting a lot of that oak. I'm getting spice. I'm getting a nutty flavor that may be that banana, the banana bread. It said walnuts. I'm getting a little honey. I get a little citrus. It's a very warm bourbon whiskey, kind of similar to last episode with the Basil Hayden. This bourbon whiskey would be great for a cold night, fireplace, fire pit, warm you up type whiskey. Um, it's it's smooth on the front end. On the back end, you getting a lot of that spice. So on the front end, you tasting more of the honey, the oak, the nut flavor, and on the back end, you getting more of that spice. They said the finish is 1 minute and 30 seconds long. The finish is not short. I'll say the finish is like medium long. It's not too long, but um, it kind of lingers a little bit, but it doesn't last too long. I definitely can taste the orange flavors, that dry fruit. Um, yeah, I'm pretty much tasting everything that they laid out, which is a good thing. Absolutely full of that banana bread. So let me move on to the glass with a splash of water. It does have a nice golden color to it. Um, Let me take this sniff. Right now, I'm getting more of that honey scent. I'm not getting that scent of the spice. I'm getting a little oak, a honey. Um, It's not as strong with the splash of water. Now let me taste. With the splash of water, it is really smooth. It's really creamy. Not a lot of spice on it. You still taste that oak. You still taste that nutty flavor. I'm not tasting a lot of that dried fruit, that orange, that citrus. I'm not tasting that any longer. Um, I definitely tasting the honey, but I'm about to do something real quick. I'm about to I'm about to cleanse my palate. I feel like the tasting that neat, and moving on to the splash of water, I needed to clear my palate. So there might be something to that minute and 30-second finish. So I might change that overall finish. It is a long finish. This is probably one of the first whiskeys I've had in a while that had a long finish. Most of them have been short, maybe medium long, but this one definitely is long, and which makes sense why they actually put that on the website for the finish to be a minute and 30 seconds long. It's long. I can still feel it. Like I can still feel it right now. I can feel it in my back. I feel it in my back. It's not a bad thing. It's not uncomfortable or nothing like that. But I can feel it. This whiskey, and I've had like high proof whiskeys before. Burp number one, burp number two, burp number three. I've had high proof whiskeys before, and none of those lasted long. Like this is a long finish right here. Yeah. This one is a long, lingering finish. Burp number four. So let me taste this again after cleansing my palate. Burp number five. I wanted to move it around so it can hit all my taste buds. This time it's still warm, very warm bourbon whiskey, not as spicy with the splash of water. You tasting that oak, tasting that honey, tasting that nutty flavor. Yeah, see, so like right now, after I cleanse my palate and I drink it again with this splash of water, the finish ain't long. The finish is very short. So drinking this neat, you're gonna have a long, lingering finish. Now let me put this ice cube in this glass and get this one going while I finish that one. Of course, this is my end of the show glass, so I gotta pour a little bit more in there. But let me finish this off real quick. I'm glad I felt that in my back because that was the burp waiting to come out. Yeah, with the splash of water, it's real smooth, not very spicy. The finish isn't long and lingering. It's not medium long. It's not medium. It's short. Um, like I said, oak, honey, nutty flavor. Now, glass of ice on the rocks. I feel like with this whiskey and doing this tasting, I gotta cleanse my palate after every different glass. Even though that splash of water was short, I don't want the flavors of the splash of water interfering with the glass on the rocks like the neat interfere with the splash of water glass. So cleanse my palate. Get that going. Stir this around. I mean, this is how I feel right now. I feel like I gotta rub, I gotta rub all the residue off my taste buds in order to get the proper tasting from it being on the rocks. So it should be cold by now. Let's taste. Now, on the rocks, I'm getting more of the dry fruit. A lot of the dry fruit. On the rocks, I taste a lot of the dry fruit. A lot of citrus flavor. Um, I taste spice, but it's not the same spice that I tasted from drinking it neat. This time, this spice is blended in with the dry fruit. Um, it's like the honey. It's like you got that. You got dry fruit sitting on the table, and you put some spice on there, and then you just pour some honey on it. That's what I'm tasting right now. I'm tasting a lot of the honey blended with the spice and the dry fruit. It's very smooth. The finish is very short. Um, it's not as warm. It doesn't warm you up the same on the rocks. Yeah, it's very smooth, very rich, very creamy. And that's coming from the honey. I taste a lot of the honey and that blended fruit and spice. Is the honey is very overpowering when it comes to the spice and the dry fruit, but you definitely taste the dry fruit. It's like a sprinkle of spice on there, just so you open that dry fruit up and just sweeten it up with honey. So, Brothers Bond straight bourbon whiskey. This one was a surprise because like the finish on this joint, like right here, man, this one definitely is suited for a cold night, a cool night, uh, a night where you want to warm yourself up, that you might want to numb yourself up for for a minute and 30 seconds. This is a bourbon whiskey that is good for the fire pit, the fireplace, and just to numb yourself up a little while. If you want to go take a walk outside when the wind is blowing a little bit aggressively, then you should have some of this. Right now, the wind in the DC Maryland area is blowing about 25 miles per hour. So this one would be a good whiskey to drink before you go out or while you outside walking. Brothers Bond straight bourbon whiskey. So out of 5 tastes, I will give this one uh I would give this one 3.5 out of 5 tastes. It's not a bad whiskey. Um, it's a good whiskey. But it just doesn't get over that hump from what I've previously tasted before. But like I said, that's my opinion. That's why I do these taste reviews to give you an idea of what you're gonna get. It's all up to your taste. It's all up to your palate. I would buy it again, honestly. It's not a bad whiskey. It's just finding the right whiskeys for your setting, for your preference, or what you're looking for at the moment. So this one right here is a good whiskey for the fall, for the winter, and for the winter going into the spring when it's still cool and it's not really warm yet, or even when it's a little warm during the daytime, but it's cooling down in the evening, and you can sit outside with your fire pit, or you can turn your fireplace on in your house. So Brothers Bond straight bourbon whiskey. Check it out. Let me know if you check it out. Make sure you like, share, comment, subscribe. Shout out to all the people who have been viewing the videos, all that good stuff. I appreciate you. And make sure you drink responsibly. I'm your host, Derek Silver. I'll be back next week for another episode. And if you got any recommendations, shout me out, let me know. And if you want to donate to the show, that Cash App is in the description. And I'll be bringing you more tasting reviews. Again, I feel like I need to go take a walk while I'm drinking this. Make sure you drink responsibly.